So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a story of dance you probably weren't taught in school. It's a history of incredible innovation, massive influence, and, unfortunately, erasure that has literally shaped how the entire world moves.
All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to start with a dance form that, a lot of us think we know pretty well. Jazz.
Okay, quick question for you. When you hear the words jazz dance, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's probably Broadway shows, right? Or maybe those super polished competitive dance teams. Just hold that image in your mind, because we're about to look at this from a completely different angle.
So what you're looking at here are basically two completely different ways of telling the same story. On the left, you've got the standard curriculum most people learn. It's all about performance, competition, codified technique, but it often just happens to leave out the very people who created it. Then, on the right, you have what's called a rooted jazz approach. This one flips the script. It puts the African aesthetics and the social, vernacular roots front and center, and it makes damn sure to credit the foundational Black artists. It's the difference between just learning a set of moves and actually understanding a living, breathing culture.
And to really get what's going on here, we have to talk about this term, Africanist aesthetics. Now, this is not just a style, okay? It's a whole artistic philosophy. It values things like improvisation, multiple rhythms happening at once, polyrhythms, a focus on the community, and this grounded, dynamic way of moving that really connects the torso to the limbs. This is the DNA of jazz.
And this is so important. We're not just talking about, a simple historical oversight or forgetting a couple of names in a textbook. No, this is about the systemic erasure of an entire culture's foundation from its very own art form, which completely changes how it's understood, how it's taught, and how it's valued. And that right there, that's the exact problem that dance professor Michael Medcalf set out to solve at Alabama State University, which is a historically Black university. He saw this massive gap in the education, so he created a whole new syllabus. He was just determined that his students were going to understand the true, massive global impact of Black American dance creators. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. We're going to look at another art form and see this same pattern, local innovation, global explosion, play out in, well, an even more revolutionary way.
I mean, just look at the journey of hip-hop. It all starts in the 70s, right? It's a super powerful form of expression and resistance bubbling up from Black and Latino communities in the Bronx. Then, by the 80s and 90s, it just explodes across the globe through music and media, becoming this voice for marginalized kids everywhere. Fast forward to the 2000s, and you see groups like Southeast Asian American youth using it as a tool to navigate their own complex identities. And today, it's a full-blown global movement, a way for people to connect and resist all over the world. The reach is just staggering. And it's not just hip-hop. Get this. Think about the Nutbush. It's this line dance that's practically the unofficial national dance in Australia. And guess what? Its origins trace right back to Black American vernacular dance. These creations have woven themselves into the fabric of global culture, a lot of the time without anyone even knowing where they came from.
So what happens, what are the real-world consequences when those roots are just forgotten or ignored?
Well, the fallout is pretty serious, and it goes in a lot of different directions. You get cultural appropriation, right? Where the style gets co-opted without any respect for its origin. Then there's the economic injustice, because the Black artists who created these forms often don't see a dime from their global success. History gets twisted, and because these are social dances, they don't have copyright protection. It all feeds a system where Eurocentric ideals are seen as the default in education. In the most extreme cases, scholars even call it a form of global ethnocide, the slow destruction of a people's cultural identity.
And this is exactly why this isn't just some academic debate about the past. Getting the story right is about tackling these really big, ongoing issues of fairness, credit, and justice in the arts industry, right now, today. So, the big question is, how do we actually fix this? Well, the good news is, educators are already on it. They're building a whole new blueprint for teaching dance, one that's designed to be a whole lot more truthful and equitable.
And the process is actually really clear and actionable. Step 1, you look at what you're already teaching. You audit it and see whose stories are being told and, more importantly, whose aren't. Step 2, and this is huge, you actively center Black voices. You use their oral histories, their interviews, their choreography as the main source material. Step 3, you stop treating Black dance studies like some optional side dish, and you make it a core, required part of the main course. And finally, you give students the tools to actually analyze the power structures and social issues within the world of dance itself.
And this whole new way of teaching is guided by some really core ideas.
It's about being culturally responsive, bringing in all these diverse stories. It's about designing your courses with fairness as the #1 goal from the very beginning. It's about active learning, getting students to analyze and question, not just memorize names and dates. The whole point is to be transformative, to create a real critical awareness of social issues through the study of dance.
This new approach does so much more than just fix the history books. It completely reframes how we think about what dance is and what it can do. Suddenly, it's not just art or entertainment anymore. It's a really powerful tool for social change.
And this really gets to the core of it all. This idea that movement itself, the physical act of dancing, can be this incredibly profound form of resistance, of protest, and even a way for a community to heal and restore itself.
And this isn't just some abstract theory either. We see it in these amazing real-world examples. I mean, you've got Alvin Ailey's masterpiece Revelations, which is just this beautiful and defiant celebration of African-American heritage and resilience. You have Umfundalai, a contemporary Pan-African dance technique that was created specifically for healing and protest. And you've got modern movements like street dance activism, a global initiative that's using dance to take on social justice issues head-on.
So we'll end with this question, something for you to take with you. After everything we've talked about, seeing how dance can carry history, identity, and a call for justice within its very movements, what does it really mean to embody protest and healing? It's a powerful new lens to look through, isn't it? A new way to see every single dance, from what you see on a stage to what you see on the street.